Hello there. Hey y'all, it's me Cody. Welcome to the Cody Knits podcast episode 25. Um this is a podcast about knitting and spinning and crochet and that kind of fun stuff and whatever else I decide to throw in there. I'm Cody. If you don't know, you can find me on where can you find me? You can find me on Facebook if you're clever. Um You can find me on here on YouTube as Cody Knits Podcast. You can find me on Ravelry as Cody Knits, and there's a Ravelry group as well, Cody Knits Podcast. You should come over and check it out. Thanks for coming. It's been a while since I last spoke with you all. I decided, excuse me, still have a little bit of a cough. Yeah, I'm gonna try to edit out any coughing. But anyway, I decided apparently to get pneumonia, and that was absolutely miserable. Very, very miserable. I was, um, yeah, that was rough. I still have a bit of a cough from it, but it's nowhere near how it was. Um, So yeah, I feel better. I just still cough. I'm trying to increase my activity level and go out for walks and things like that. And yeah, but anyway, all that being said, welcome. So excited you're here. I'm so excited to spend a little time with you. I do have some um, things to tell you. I've decided to kind of revamp the podcast just a little bit. It's still going to be Cody Knits Podcast. If you're newer, you may or may not know that I'm a nurse. Well, now I'm a nurse practitioner. And so I'm kind of, to tie that, my love for that, in with the podcast, I'm kind of just renaming the segments, I guess, a little bit. So, for example, when I talk about the tea I'm drinking, if I do, it's going to be called my herbal remedies. My works in progress will be called my workups. Um, Things that are like long-term projects, I'm going to call them admitted projects because they're going to be staying for a while. My finished objects are going to be called discharged projects. Um, Things that I want to do in the future are going to be in the waiting room. And there's going to be a little, maybe a prescription section where I will kind of either do a little bit of enabling and tell you of a cool gadget or something that I think you should try out, or it will be like a little help tidbit of information kind of thing. Um, and then if I do a review of a product or a book, that's going to be called my diagnostics section. And then there's going to be a little first aid for knitters every now and then, especially if I make a mistake. I want to talk to you about it and how to fix it. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm going to try uh, and see how that goes this episode. And you guys give me some feedback and let me know what you think. I just kind of wanted to make it a little bit more unique for my podcast because, you know, every podcast that's knitting has, your bows, your whips, just to make it a little bit different. So let me know what you think. Won't hurt my feelings if you say, that's stupid, go back to what you are doing. I do this because I enjoy it. It's fun, but I also do it because for you guys. Yeah, and now I have over 500 followers or subscribers, which is really pretty cool. So it's every day it's kind of growing, and that's exciting. and hopefully I will be doing a giveaway with that shortly. Haven't decided how I want to do it, but I will be doing that. So anyway, one more little piece of news is because I love you guys so much, and it's February, the love month, or whatever you want to call it. You should really let people know that you love them all the time, not just in February. But, you know, it is Valentine's Day on February 14th. And so I thought because of that, my growing flowers cowl, my pattern, looks like this in case you don't know. This is the large version. Trying to see what you can see. This pattern, you might not be able to see, but it actually has like a little flower motif kind of thing on there. This pattern, I decided to do a discount code and make it half off until February 14th, or until the end of that day. So February 15th, it'll cut off. So if you're interested in purchasing the pattern for half off, because I love you all so much, you can enter a coupon code on Ravelry, and it will be love you, LOVEYOU, all one word, and you can get the pattern for half off. So if you follow me on Instagram, another cool thing you might notice, might have seen, is a lovely friend of mine has designed a little logo for me, which is super cool, and I absolutely love it. So I have like hard copies of it, and will be sending the digital copies of that to me soon. So hopefully they're on this episode. If they're not on this episode, then they will be on the next one. But yeah, super exciting. So anyway, herbal remedies, drinking out of my awesome mug. Of course, being sick, I've been drinking a lot of tea. Ooh, it's hot. That tea is some Earl Grey tea. I believe it's Twinings or Twinnings, however you say it. And it's some that Miss Diane sent me recently in the mail. So thank you so much for that. I was actually all out with Earl Grey, and it was perfect timing. So yeah, thank you. So let's talk about our workups, which is my whips in progress, works in progress, whips in progress, works in progress. I actually only have a couple at the moment. We'll start with this one. This is in a bag one of you guys sent me. I love this bag. It's so cute. Anyway, let me get everything out so I can show you. So this is one of my little goals that I want to do this year was try to do a little bit of color work. I guess some people would consider the gloves that I made color work, but I didn't really consider that color work. I considered that I just did stripes. But anyway, so my secret Rhinebeck shopper last year, because I couldn't go, I got me a secret shopper. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Got me this little pattern called Fair Isle Cowl. Well, it's a little kit. That's what it's supposed to look like, I believe. And it comes from Caradon Farm Wool Shop. And it was a little kit, and it came with the pattern and the yarn that you needed. So this is the main color. It had two of these. Lana Gato Messina, maybe. It's merino wool. They're 50 gram. This is a 50-gram ball. I'm trying to see if it says a color. Yeah, it doesn't have a color name on this. It's 100% wool. This is a, like I said, 50-gram ball, and it came with 2 of those, and then 1 of this kind of variegated yarn. Sorry if the lighting is terrible. It was a little better. I have the door open to the patio and stuff, and it's kind of like partly cloudy, but it's really warm today. I actually had to turn my air conditioner on last night because if I get too hot, I cough and cough and cough. And then when it was cold and snowing, I had the pneumonia. The heat would come on, and I would cough and cough and cough. So I was really cuddled up, bundled up, and Diamond was too, because the heat made me cough more, and I'd breathe better in the cold. So, anywho, let me see. Where is the ball band for this yarn? Ah, here it is. So the variegated kind of is called Gina, or that's how I would say it, from Plymouth Yarn Company. Color is 0007. It's 100% wool, 50 grams. But yeah, this is like some red. It's got blue, a pinky color, and the red part kind of has like a black, a little bit of black mixed in there, like spun in there with it. It's not really plied like red and black. It just kind of like looks, has it in there, I guess. You can see better. Yeah, you can kind of see like that. But it has the red. Here's some of the blue. It's not quite that. Well, some of it is that dark, but some of it is a little lighter. But anyway, you're probably saying, show us what you're doing. So here's what it is. It's a cowl, and this is a little pretty scrunched up on the needle. I'm using my interchangeable carbons, and these are US 9s. And I'm using this awesome mustache stitch marker. But can't really see the pattern that great, but there it is. I think I'm doing pretty good. Here's my float, the inside. And it's so funny me trying to figure out how to knit this and not be super slow, because when I was first going, I was like, okay, like you knit, like one round is you knit one, knit one, knit one with the main color, knit one with the contrast, knit one with the main, and so switching back and forth. And I was like, so I'd have to drop the yarn. It just got to, I was like, this is taking forever. So what I figured out, what I've been doing is knitting kind of with 2 hands, and I'm a continental knitter, so normally I'm, tensioning the yarn in my left hand. And so I was like, okay, how can I do this so that it's a little bit faster, because I keep having to drop things, you might untwist and pick up. It was just, so I figured I started kind of doing this with my right hand, and it keeps this one has the most, a lot of times the further away from, like, the float has to be longer in the back with this one, so I have to knit it a little bit more loosely. So I knit, and I just kind of use this, and it's just funny it was funny for me, to myself, to watch myself try to do this. But it's actually working out, and a lot faster. I might have a little bit too much slack back here, but I'm not sure, because it might just be that that it's so scrunched up on the needles. But I am assuming that it's better to have a little bit too much extra back here than it is to not have enough, right? So that's that. I'm really having fun doing this, and I'll definitely look forward to doing some more kind of Fair Isle work in the future, because it's something like, I mean, this is a good, I think this is a good first time Fair Isle project, because it's pretty easy to do, and there's, it's not, I think it's a good one to do. I'll send you the link to where you can, um, I don't know if you can actually get it, but I'll send you the link to the Cardon Farm website, and if you're interested, maybe you can get the pattern there. Not sure. So anyway, well, Miss Diamond has decided she wants to sit in my lap, so let me pick her up. Here, why don't you go back out on the deck? It's pretty outside. Say hello. Say hello. Say hi to Miss Bryony. Thank you for the kisses. You're my baby girl. Anyway, so let's see. That was a Fair Isle cowl. Oh, so I started teaching my aunt knows how to crochet. Like, she crochets like this. I don't know if you can see back there, but there's like a blanket that is two different colors of gray and silver. She crocheted that for me. She knows how to crochet a little, but she doesn't know how to, or she didn't know how to crochet like a hat. And recently she asked me to knit or make her some hats for, they go to this little retirement kind of home, and they always take this, like, donated items, and they give the patients some this play money, and they get to and they like have an auction and auction stuff off, and she wanted to auction off some hats. So obviously I made her some, but I wanted to teach her since she's newly retired and she knows. So, Ellen, please stop. She's licking my short constantly. Wouldn't stop. But anyway, so I was teaching her how to do a double crochet hat. So she's finished hers. I haven't finished mine yet, but I was teaching her how to knit in the round. She's never crochet in the round, and how to do the increases for the crown. So this is one I am working on. It's some stash yarn, Vantage Choice line brand. The color is Kelly Green. So that's that. I'm using this hook. It's a eye hook, or 5.5 millimeter hook. I really like these ones with the bamboo handles because it's just more ergonomic, I guess. Ooh. Other thing I've been working on a little, definitely worked on it some since the last time I showed it to you, is my interlock cowl. It's by Carol Wells. Here's a picture. And I'm using it's Pepperberry Knits 100% cashmere yarn, and this is wonderful. And I'm knitting them on, I believe these are some Knitter's Pride. They're US 2.5 or 3 millimeter straight wooden needles. This is actually where I was last time I showed you, so I think I have done pretty good bit. But yeah, I'm enjoying this pattern. I'm starting to get it a little bit better. I'm having this edge here is very straight, but this edge here is not. um, and I don't. It's bugging me a little bit, but I don't know what else. I mean, there's nothing that I know that I can do to make it a little bit straighter. It's just that side. This side's always, it's not perfect, but it's a lot straighter. So, I mean, each side has its own little like edge piecing, and they're done a little bit differently. So, could just be the difference in technique. And this it's in my bag from the Bakery Bears Cottage. Kay made it. It's a Christmas bag, but I don't care. I love it. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that. The cashmere really makes my hands sweat. So if I'm too hot, I can't work on this. Because if my hands aren't hot, the cashmere just flows so wonderfully right through my fingers. But if my hands get sweaty, it like gets sticky almost, and that's not that fun. So those are my workups. This is what I'm working on right now, my works in progress. And then I have 2 admitted projects. So these are my blankets. Since the last time I podcasted, I've done a lot of squares on my sock yarn scrap blanket. Let's see if I can actually show you. So all the ones with stitch markers are new. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. I've done 18 squares since the last time I saw you. And these are new too. I just didn't have any more clippy stitch markers. But yeah, so what I'm trying to do is make this get to about 25 maybe rows long. I have 1, 2. I'm on 17 now, and it's about from one fingertip to my elbow, I would say. But I think 20 or 25 rows will be plenty long enough. I'm not trying to make this some kind of epic king size bed spread or something, but a nice throw size probably. I really like working on that. Excuse me, let me get a sip of my tea. Mmm, so good. So, speaking of tea, well, I'll go into that. Let me make a note down here so I remember. Have my notes down here. Oh, hush. She's barking at the car that went by. The other thing I've been working on is in this bag from Erin. Give me on 418. Her shop is Southpaw Creations on Etsy. But this is you can call, I guess you can either call it my It's kind of like my scrap crochet blanket for this is my acrylic yarns that are like worsted weight. I think last time I showed you all the squares, and now I have put on the borders. Obviously, have lots of ends to weave in, but yeah, this is it so far. And I'm actually, believe it or not, out of scraps. So, can't really work on that. Oh, diamond! Phew. That was smelly. They're like silent but deadly. Never know it until it hits you in the face. Oh, they don't even apologize. I love her, but whew. So there's that one. Oh, I have one more. And if you've been watching from like the first podcast, you might recognize this. But look what I found hiding out. This was like my first ever try to cable, still new at like really new at knitting project. It's just like it's a pattern I found off of some blog somewhere, and it's just called a simple cabled scarf, and it's like a 6-row repeat. But I've actually done a couple of repeats on that. I'm kind of picking it up every now and then and just kind of working on it. Some Red Heart soft, excuse me, yarn. But yeah, I've kind of done a couple of repeats on that. I thought it was fun to kind of. This was at the bottom of the basket where my you can see my corner to corner blanket was. This was kind of hiding up under all that. So that is all of admitted projects. I have that one, that scarf under admitted projects because it's obviously I've been working on it for a long time, and I'm probably not. It's not a urgent thing for me to finish, so it'll probably be there. In case you were wondering, this is a bankhead hat that I knit out of some yarn. I don't remember the name. But it was a thick and thin yarn. Kind of like a hand spun, but it wasn't hand spun. It was made that way in the factory or whatever. It wasn't yeah. So there's that. Now, I have a lot of finished objects, or what we're going to be calling them are discharged projects. Some of them I no longer have because I have given them to who they were meant to go to. So I've had 3 crochet hats that I've done. 2 of them were just plain like double crochet beanie hats. One of them was the granny square hat. I used Bob Wilson 123. That's Claire, her pattern, and used her little video tutorial, and she had her pattern for that hat includes everywhere from like newborn all the way up to huge head. So that's definitely, I think it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free too. So it's a really good pattern, and you can knit one for everybody. I mean, crochet one. So I've crocheted 3 hats. I crocheted up this cute little nugget. You probably, if you see me, if you're on, follow me on Instagram. It's a crochet amigurumi dachshund. The yarn I used was some loops and thread in this chocolate color. Again, I'm using Stash because I'm not buying yarn. I'm not on a yarn. I might as well um I should participate in the yarn ban alongs that are going along because I would be set, but it's not really fair because I don't feel like it's fair to other people because I'm not buying yarn because I don't have income coming in. So, but I'm using my scraps and Stash a lot. So this is that. I did a horrible little nose because as we all know, I'm really bad at that um, kind of thing. And I used some little safety eyes. And it even had little instructions for the little collar. But yeah, I love the little floppy ears. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. You knit it, and it's knit. Let's see, you knit the body, knit. You crochet the body, you crochet the tail, and each of the feet slash legs, stumpy little legs, just like a dachshund, separately. The head separately, and the ears separately, and then you sew them all together. Not my favorite way to knit an or to do these, but it gave me something to do while I was not feeling well. So, and it's cute. So yeah, there's that crochet. The pattern I don't know who it's by. The thing doesn't say. It's on my Ravelry page. If you are interested. So are the hats and stuff. And the gloves, I know I haven't been able to show you them, but I always have a picture on Ravelry. But the pattern had some mistakes, and but they were easy enough to figure out, especially if you have a little bit of experience with crocheting and that kind of stuff. If I can figure it out, you probably could, but yeah, just a couple of mistakes, like um, yeah, just a couple of things. But it was a free pattern, so you can't get upset when there's mistakes in a free pattern. So I did that. Oh, another thing I don't have to show you, but I finally finished, is the baby sweater of doom. When I wasn't really particularly, well, no, it was before I got pneumonia. I was having like up here yuckiness, so I didn't exactly feel good, but I wasn't like pneumonia sick. So I decided, I was like, I want this sweater to be done. The baby came a little early, and I still haven't gotten to go see the cute little nugget because I still have a cough, even though I've been on antibiotics for 2 weeks, and actually I've finished them, and all that. I still have a cough, and it's not worth. I mean, I would love to go and hold the little nugget because I love babies. Once they start talking, and once they can tell you no and talk back, I kind of lose a little bit of interest in them. But the little babies, I'm okay with. Uh, they're cry when they cry, it doesn't bother me, like annoy me, like. But when kids whine, that annoys me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I like kids. Just I enjoy being able that I can send them back to their their mommy and daddy. So yeah, I really enjoyed my peds rotation, and when they were not feeling well, like I can understand that kind of whiny, but yeah, sometimes it's the parents' issues too. But we're not gonna go into that. But I love little babies, and I love to just sit there and hold them. I enjoy feeding them and things like that, and just watching them sleep. But I haven't been able to go and see them. But her one of our mutual friends, she and I went on we had lunch and went on a little walk just to we were both really frustrated with the whole nurse practitioner getting our license thing and our school not doing things that it should be doing, and we just decided to vent. And so we went on a walk, and I made her a little hat, a pink and white hat, and it's a little girl. We didn't know if it was gonna be a girl or a boy, but it was a little girl, so I made her a little pink and white hat, and I gave her the sweater, and I asked her to take it to her. So anyway, it's finished. You can look at pictures on Instagram or my projects page on uh, Ravelry. And what else? Ooh. So I made this hat, or I knit it, and this is the owl hat by Julie is Coco and Coco. And I thought it says it's a women's size. Let's see if I can find the pattern. I believe it's free, but it says in the size, it says women's hat, right? But this is tiny. Like, I think it's more of a kid's hat. And I knit this for one of my friends. Her name is Casey, and she loves owls. And I was gonna do the whole put beads in the eyes and everything. And I really enjoyed knitting this. It was cute. It was easy. Really wasn't that hard. It's really cute. I was using some, excuse me, Juniper Moon Farms, I think is how you say it, the yarn. And it was like some leftovers from when I made my cowl with. And I had enough, so I could make it plenty, big enough, but I followed the pattern and yeah, it's too tiny. Like, yeah. So if anybody knows of another pattern or a better version that actually has the women's size for this hat, please let me know. I probably won't be able to knit it for her now for a while because I want to knit it in like this creamy, beigey, tanny color. And I really like this yarn, and it's a pretty good price. I think for a skein of it was like $8 or $10. It's actually a good deal considering that it's like silk, merino, and something else. Very good deal. But I don't, like I said, I can't buy yarn right now. So, but some little girl, or probably a little girl, is gonna get a really cute hat. But yeah, that was fun. And I've also discharged another project. I actually just finished it yesterday and blocked it overnight, and it is all done. And it is my Duchess of Devonshire shawl by the beautiful Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. And this is ended up blocking really long. It's much longer than my wingspan. And I've made the little sections at the bottom. They're a little bit pointier than yeah. I probably just stretched it out a little bit, or I blocked it a little bit more aggressively. But I really like it, and I love, yeah. So this is showing up the blues a lot better. It's some like variegated blue colors. every time I take pictures of it, it turns out purple, and it's not purple. It's blue, beautiful blues. That's even too dark, but yeah, there we go. I wish I could take a picture, like snap it right there. But yeah, I have no clue who this is gonna go to. Um, Yarn is very drapey now that it has been blocked. I don't wear shawls like this, but I just wanted you to see the drape of it. I probably wouldn't. I probably won't wear this. It's a little bit. I don't know. I might. It's blue. I don't really care. But if I do wear it, it's gonna be worn. Ooh, I love it. I used some soap that I got, and I love the way it smells. But yeah, I always wear shawls, something more along this line anyway. So it's more like it's a neck warmer kind of thing. I don't think it looks that bad actually. I don't think it looks too feminine with it being blue and wearing it like this. What do you think? I don't really care, actually, to be honest. Well, I care what you think. That's not what I meant. But I don't care if it's too feminine or whatever. If I like it, I'm gonna wear it. I don't care what about, I guess, gender stereotypes or whatever. But yeah, a lot of people think when I say shawl that it's like a little old lady that's always cold kind of around your, which I think those have a wonderful place in knitting and in someone's wardrobe. Not for me, but some people, put it around. And some of these shawls, designers these days are coming up with really modern, beautiful wraps and shawls. They don't look granny or old people-y. They're really beautiful and they're really elegant, and it's it's just the word shawl has like a certain connotation or something to it, or an image that's automatically tied to it that makes people think little old lady. But this is not little old lady shawl. Even if you wear it over your shoulders like this, I don't, I mean, it's not necessarily little old lady to me. It's beautiful. And yeah, anyway, great job, Kay. I have a little bit, I'm going to skip over what's in the waiting room and talk about, go into my little prescription section, what I'm going to prescribe. And one of the things is, if you haven't knit this yet, or if you are knitting any kind of shawl that ends up having a lot of stitches and stuff on it, or lace repeats and stuff like that, using a lifeline is going to be your best friend. What I would do is, after each, well, not this section, but down here, you might remember I had to rip this out, and I started a long time ago, but I had to rip it out because my stitch counts were getting off because I wasn't paying attention to increases and decreases. Since I knit this and I have nothing else to do, it was simple. I didn't have any issues, but a couple of times I was glad that, like, after each little section, I would count, because in Kay's pattern, she's wonderful and tells you how many stitches you should have at the end of that section, and I would count to make sure I had that many, and if I did, I would put in a lifeline. And I used some crochet thread. I just bought this. This was 50 cents on sale somewhere, and I used this for, a lot of things like that. I either use it to like tie something up if I need to, but I mainly use it for lifeline. And I find that I usually double it for thicker yarn like this and thread it through, or if it's little bitty sock yarn, it's I just use, I don't double it. I just use one thread through and it's fine. Anyway, so that's one of the things I would suggest to you or prescribe to you is, and I just use a darning needle and that, and I use that instead of like a scrap piece of yarn. But you can use scrap piece of yarn or whatever you have. I just like that because it's not going to be, it's not too big for the yarn or whatever. And I don't have to worry about it sticking, to the yarn or something. Yeah, I absolutely love this. It's so soft. I forgot to show you. This is the yarn. It's the Verdant Griffin in the Bugga colorway. 70% superwash merino wool, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, and that's why it's so beautiful. And the other prescription I would give to you is, mine is absolutely kind of filthy, but one of these. What is this, you might say? If you're not familiar, this is a candle warmer. I don't use it to warm candles, but what it is the little black spot, the black section gets kind of hot or warm, and it usually you would put a candle like in a glass like this. You'd set that on there, and it would just warm the wax in the candle enough and like emit the smell. Well, I use it and set my tea or my coffee on it, and it keeps it warm. Because I don't drink it fast enough a lot of times. So I put it on that, and it keeps it warm. Or if it's getting, like if my coffee or my tea is starting to get cold, I can put it on there and it warms it up enough. It's not gonna boil it. It's not like a burner, but it gets it warm enough where, it's warm tea. It's hot tea still. Wonderful thing. um, what else? So that's all I have for knitting and crocheting, but I do have some spinning stuff, and this is going to be a little bit of a long episode, and it's been a while since I've been on, so hope that's okay. But look what I did. I'm spun up my first little ball of yarn. I don't know how much is in this or whatever. It was just I'm learning how to spin yarn. And this past Saturday, my friend, who happens to be the same friend that is making my logo, she's an architect, but she is also a wonderful spinner. So she's teaching me about spinning, especially drop spindling. We were at Barnes and Noble on Saturday, and she actually brought her spinning wheel, and she was spinning, and she was a little embarrassed. So I was like, don't worry about it. I'll spin on my drop spindle, and you can spin on your thing. And there was people who came up and were talking to us and asking us about it, and especially kids, which was cool because like they like they were interested in how it worked, like what was the process of the actual knitting or the spinning wheel, but also how we let them like touch the fiber and explain to them how this is sheep wool that's just been brushed basically, and how we spin it and we turn it into yarn, and then we take yarn and we make things like a hat or a sweater, and just showing them that process was really cool. And she's such a wonderful teacher, and she's very patient, and very knowledgeable, and she knows what she's doing. So it was fun for me to sit there and watch her teach other people, not just me, but the people around us. But yeah, I was super excited about this. I kind of barber pole plied. I believe the brown color is DFL, and the white was um, Corydell, maybe, or I can't remember. But yeah, and she showed me how to ply them together with a drop spindle. Now, definitely has some thick and thin pieces, but when I first spun everything up, I was like, this is kind of, it's spun so tightly that I was like, I don't, this doesn't feel like it would be nice to knit with. And I was like, do I need to not spin it so tightly? And she kept on, that was the thing I was asking her when I was first spinning each single thing. Sorry, it's like my nose itch. And she kept assuring me, don't worry about it, you know, when you, and she, so last week, I mean, this past weekend, we were plying it, and when you ply the two together, you're spinning in the opposite direction that you spun it in, and it just made the yarn kind of bloom, and I really love this. So this is my first little hand spun. Now, she gave me a whole, excuse me, a whole bunch of goodies that I'm super excited to show you. So, let me show you the first thing is from her hometown. She's from Alabama, and I try not to hold that against her. But at her local yarn shop, a lady makes these drop spindles. I could be wrong, but I believe this is called Top Whirl, a Top Whirl drop spindle, and it has this beautiful Greek pattern. And you can't tell because of the yarn, but the little thing here is green. So, yeah, she got me this while she was there, and I'm going to be buying her some yarn in the future when I start working again. Um, and what's on here is leads me to, she gave me this big bag of beautifulness, fiber, different colors. This is a braid. She says she's had this for a while. Like, she doesn't, I mean, we don't really remember what it came from, or I know it's wool, and a lot of it's super soft, but it's just a bunch of different colors. Ooh, that's pretty color. It's like cotton candy. How pretty that is. So she gave this to me. She said she's not going to use it. Not that she doesn't like it, but she's not going to use it. Sorry. um, and she's spinning other things. And so she said she'd give it to me. And so I got a piece of that, and that's what I've been spinning. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting better. I'll try to insert, we took a couple of videos. I'll try to insert a couple of videos of us spinning at Barnes& and Noble. Somewhere here or at the end. It was a pitiful attempt by me, but she was doing great on her spinning wheel. She also gave me some of this. And these are silk hankies. And she said she really enjoyed dyeing them and that kind of thing. Not necessarily, she isn't necessarily gonna enjoy spinning them or whatnot, but she thought that I would enjoy just working with them and seeing what I came up with. So she dyed these herself, which is super cool. There's a bunch of them, like a big old stack of them. This really seems like this one has one that's already kind of open, but she showed me how you would spin with it, and she was even showing me how you can just start knitting with it too, which is super cool. But yeah, so that was really cool. I haven't played with them yet, and she's telling me, you can spin it in with some other, like some wool and have it as a blend or, things like that. So that was really cool. And then she gave me some of this. Now this, she also dyed, and this is dyed like sun dyed. So I don't know about dyeing, but she dyed it in the sun, using natural, like some berries. But this is silk as well, and apparently, you kind of pull it from the middle here or something like that. Like I said, I haven't played with this yet, so I'm not 100% sure how, how all it works. But it is beautiful. It reminds me of like dried out rose petals. So yeah, I mean, we shall see what they become. So I believe, um, that's all I have for that. Now, there's one last thing I want to do, and I'm doing this especially for Ming Mao. Recently, she did a little kind of like show your, like, wanting to see like your knitting notebook kind of thing or your knitting journal. So I do have a knitting journal. This is my newest one. This is a little thing I got from Fiberista Club once. Um, I am not super artsy. I would like to be, but I'm not that creative enough to like paint and stuff like that. I'm not very good at that. But I'll show you. Like, I added this thing to the cover, and it has whips from 2015 that had already started. Some of them are finished, like the baby sweater thing. And then the first page, I put some of my goals. Knit a sweater, some color work. I want to try to make 6 pairs of socks this year. Design a new pattern. But yeah, this is mostly what my pages look like. So I write in what the pattern was. So this is the second pattern I've finished, and it was the Learn to Knit Gloves by Stacey Perry from Very Pink Knit. I write a little thingy about it, like did I like it or not. I always put in samples of the yarn and the tags, but I also write it out in case the tags fall out. But I just tape them. I like to use washi tape, but I'm kind of out of it right now, and it's not super expensive, but it's also not a city. So yeah, on this page right here is my mattered square basic sock blanket. And what I've done is I want to keep up with how many squares I do each month. And I'm going to fill it in there. And then who all has sent me pieces. And these are just some, like this says, this is from Jan Loves Wool. So she sent me some mini skeins, right? And she named them or printed this out to label them for me. So I folded these up and to keep it here in the notebook. So I'll add to this page as I get more. This is just another page. I really prefer the kind. I've noticed my first one is back there, but because I put so much extra stuff in it. If it's not this kind with the, what are these called? If it's not this kind and it's the kind that's just kind of bound together like a book, then the spine ends up breaking. This is a spiral bound, right? I think. So anyway, I'm finding this is working better. So this is the page I made. Kay sent the some of the patrons. I think the 25 and up patrons or something. She sent us all little gifts for just to say thank you and everything for being a patron and stuff like that. And this is the little bag that it was wrapped in her card, and I wrote a little note about it. Anytime someone sends me a like a note or like a card or something, it goes in here. That's from yarn people. If it's like from my mom, I don't put it in this notebook. I have another little box, memory box. This is, since I published my Growing Flowers cowl this year, I put a copy of it here. And this is my Duchess of Devonshire one. That's all I have in this one so far. I think it would be fun to have one that was like more like, if I did like watercolors or like things like that, I think I would, incorporate that into it a little bit more. But I'm always trying to come up with new things, new ideas for it. Right now I'm just kind of pasting stuff in there. Yeah, I don't really have any other kind of decorations or anything for it. It just, goes in there. If I'm ever going to sketch, like do a little sketch of a pattern design idea or something, I'll do it in that book. Anything knitting goes in that book. But yeah, what I want to do with that is Diary of a Yarn Snob, she showed off this really cool thing, and it's a Polaroid device. And used to, back in the old days, a Polaroid was like an instant camera where you take it and like you take the picture and it automatically prints out, and you did like this to dry the ink. I remember this. I don't know if you remember this, but this was when I was a little kid, but I do remember. You do like that, and it dries it, and it's like automatically prints your picture. Well, now they have, it's the same concept except it's more digital. So they have one where you can, they still have that kind. It's a little, they have them a little more compact than they used to be. But they also have where you can, it's like a Polaroid printer, and it prints these like two by two or 3 by 2 little squares from your phone. So you just put the app and then you tell it to print it, and it's this little device. And I would really, what I really want to do is to get something like that and be able to print pictures out of my finished objects and put those with my projects. It just seems like too much ink and such to print them from my own printer. I mean, I can, but and also those pictures are usually, I mean, the I don't know, it just doesn't seem cost effective. Or I guess I could go like take it and put it on a disc and or a drive or something and print them off at Target or something. It's just not convenient. More time and energy than I would really want. But one of the things I am going to get one of these days when I start working again is I want to get one of those Polaroid things so I can print it out and it would be perfectly fit on these pages. So like my Duchess of Devonshire shawl, I'd take a picture and it could be just posted right here. My owl hat, it could go right here. But yeah, I think I would really like to be able to do that because it's a picture of it, and it's, I mean, I really like my objects, like this shawl, or my, like when I did my Messalina shawl, I love that, but I give them to people, a lot of times, and I want to be able to remember like what it looked like and who I like. If I give it to someone, who did I give it to, and still be able to look at it. If I still have them like this, I mean, I can admire it and love on it. But if I don't, if I ever give it away, I might not remember, down the road how lovely it was and whatnot. So anyway, that is my little my knitting notebook. And the only difference in my one from last year is sitting on a shelf back there with my other knitting stuff, but it's full of like, it got filled up with like Christmas cards and other little cards. So I usually will put those. So if I get something, a little package or something, and I always put it in here, and I include the cards and stuff and write a little bit about it. So I'm definitely curious to see what other people do with their knitting journals and see what else you put in there. And like, I'd love to be able to take a picture of this and say, look, my first spinning little ball of home hand spun yarn that I spun, and be able to put it in my journal. I know it's online and stuff, but it's just something special about having it like your own little notebook, and it's tangible. And if the internet crashes, I still have my notebooks, right? Anyway, I hope, Ming-Mao, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that it helped. Sorry it took so long to get it. But anywho, I hope you are all having a wonderful day. I hope that you are getting lots of knitting done, and I hope that you are all well and not sick. Remember, keep washing your hands really good. Yeah. So let me know what you think about kind of the new titles and stuff, and the editing and things of this video. And yeah, let me know. Just talk to me, and don't forget to go and use the coupon code LOVEYOU LOVEYOU on Ravelry, and get half off, 50% off of my growing flowers cowl. So yeah. Anyway, and thank you all for people who've already purchased it. I really appreciate it. And there is a, excuse me, there is a knit along thread, and I have it till March, but I'll probably just keep extending it until we have, you know, until people actually have time to get around to knitting it. I know a lot of people are knitting other things for other knit alongs and things like that, and my cowl isn't at the, a priority. So I'll probably just keep extending it, whatever, until it works best for you guys. So if I notice that a lot of people have went out and bought the pattern, I'll wait a little bit longer. If not, then yeah, we just won't do it. It's up to y'all. I've already knit one, so I like it. But anyway, hope you're doing well. I will talk to you next time. Hopefully, it will only be about 2 weeks before I, I podcast again. Um, Hopefully, it won't be any longer. Unless something happens and I get sick again or something. Anyway, bye.